Well, back again. Saturday morning, 8:32 a.m. and we're up and running. So just doing a little bit of kind of detail work on this king here at the moment. This is my second go at him. Here's the first. So trying to do gold embroidery on him that's not using a lot of actually metallic paint. So it uses English uniform as the first color, then Citadel Everland Sunset, and then use a little bit of gold just to finish it off, Bellagio gold, just to highlight the top, but not use. I don't want it to make it look like it's metal gold on any of the clothing. So yeah, so now we're just doing the finer detail on that at the moment. The guys that watch this later, I hope all's well. I'm now starting to get busy again with some of my painting. A wee bit quiet. Well, kind of quiet. Right. I might actually do his second layer of skin. I might just go. Is that too bright, guys? Or is that all right? I can change the setting to make it darker or brighter there on the camera. So yeah, just putting the second layer of skin on, which I'm using Bellagio Flesh Base. Trying to get these mix of Vikings and Saxons completed so I can go on to my next project. So I've got some 15mm British ABs to do. I've got I'm always working on the Pro Boss Games figures. And then I've got some Napoleonic French allies to do as well. Oh, of course, and I'm working on I've undercoated my Greek light cavalry. I think my camera might be in a slightly different place because I've got shadow, which makes it a little hard to see when you're painting in there. Right, so we've got the second layer of skin on there. And then I think we'll go and we'll put the... It's Saturday here. New Zealand, it's the first of everything. So first to see the sun, first to see the rain. And today It's Saturday morning and it is 8:37. So we're just putting the third layer on here. And it's really fine amounts. Just trying to get that gold look going. As I said, it's I'm trying to get a different look for my gold material than I am with my gold metallics. So no washes on it, only gold paint on the third layer. Instead of 3 layers of different golds, and I normally do a wash of Agrex in that as well. But I read something about embroidery on the cloth. What make? These are Crusader. This is a Crusader miniatures, and the only reason I know it's Crusader is because I got a new magazine and I was trying to figure out how to paint this guy, and lo and behold, there he was on the first page of the magazine. So it was like, sweet, because the ones that I'm painting at the moment is a real mix of manufacturers. Yeah, so here's him on the foot, all done and completed. And now I'm just doing him on horseback, and he has a companion with him as well, and he has foot as well. So yeah, so these the Vikings are coming along. I said I'm trying to get them completed so I can move on to my next job. Now, I suppose later on today I'll be doing the shields, painting the shields on for the Vikings. So no transfers there, and they're all, as I said, from all different manufacturers. So the shields are all different sizes and shapes. I mean, I'll take some photos of these obviously when they're finished, because you'll get a better view than on the video here. Right, so that's the cloth, the gold on the cloth done. See if we can get it and then sharpen it up. No, it's not sharp. Yeah, it's always good to paint something that's not too hard. So is that the ones? Sorry, I didn't take notice of the name. The other day, someone asked about a dark blue. Was that you, Neil? Because I think they were talking about 1680s to 90s French. So Was that you that was talking about painting a dark blue? We'll carry on while we... You're good with dark blue? Cool. You might have chimed in. So good, mate. I just said that I'll have a wee go at it because I've got a first layer of dark blue on the back of the cape there. So later on I'll have a wee go at painting it, so I can have a look at it. Actually, a little bit of water in there would be helpful. So what I'm painting here is the first layer was dark German brown, camo brown, and I'm now putting a layer of medium camo brown on. I think there was a bit of water on that there already. So what colors do you use for your Prussians? Because I've actually got Prussians to paint, and I've never done Prussians before, so I'll have to work out exactly how they're done. I'll have to do a test anyway, but make sure that the client approves. Villaggio Prussian blue base, then you mean dark Prussian blue, then Prussian blue. Yep. I'm not sure that's going to give me the. So I've used that color actually on some of my ancients for a blue that's not quite as bright as when I use the intense blue on the French, but as I said, I'll just have to have a bit of a test, but I mean that will be one of them. I'm trying to get the look that on the front rank site when they've got their French done. So it's a wee bit, it's darker, but it's a different kind of look that the blues have. Right, so we're just about done. Yeah, for a highlight. Yep. Not very sharp, is it, today? I think I've got my camera in a slightly different place. Okay. So we're doing a one horse. It's like a dull brown, and then we're going to be doing a red brown for the other one. I think that's called Bay, but hey, me and my horse colors, we're not the best. I mean, I'm all right at doing them, but sometimes I think I probably don't do them as realistic as I should. I've been trying to get better at actually doing real horses, you know, ones that actually exist rather than just a brown horse that I think, oh, that looks cool. So I'm just flicking over a few of these and making sure. Actually, what I was going to do is oh, cool. Yep. I use I use dark Prussian blue, then intense blue, and then I mix a little bit of grey blue into the intense blue for my highlight. I suppose it's a colour that I've always gone to, even though I was looking in the magazine that showing you how to paint them, and they use a different setup of paints, and I must admit they did look quite nice. Is the Neil, is the picture all right? Like, is it? It's not too bright. It's hard to tell here whether the picture's good for you guys to look at. Oh, cool. Other than the shields, I'm just trying to get a few finishing touches done on these guys now. Some of them we've got a little bit more to do, but might be a bit bright. Okay, now which way's darker? That's brighter. How about that? Is that a bit better? Spot on. See if we can sharpen that. There we go. Awesome. Thanks, mate. David, how's it going, mate? Yes, there's a real mix of miniatures in this batch. All different kinds. So I'm just at that stage where I'm like, okay, I'm ready for these to be done. Yeah, there's a mix of Saxons and Vikings and who actually knows what else. I was given these to paint about 4 or 5 years ago by a guy I paint for, and then he said, no, don't do them. So I put them aside, and but now that I'm getting myself to the point where I'm not going to be painting for anyone anymore soon, within a year, I'm now actually starting to work through some of these figures that have been sitting here for a long time. It's not a lot. They're not just been sitting here for a long time because I haven't been painting much. It's because just other stuff keeps coming in the doors that for the same people. So sometimes I say, don't paint the stuff I've sent. Yeah, as you can see, there's a real mix. G'day, is it Venom? There you go, mate. Yeah, well, for this one guy here, I actually had a whole cupboard. Now, if I bring that figure down and then sharpen the image up at that point, yeah, I had a whole cupboard full of miniatures just for this one guy, actually, at one stage. There's a bit more water in it. my lead mountain for myself is now growing, which I've never really had too much of before. So yeah, I've got a video coming out of The Postman Has Been. So that's going to be coming out soon, and yeah, there's a lot of figures coming in the door this week and last week. So it's going to be enough. Those would be enough to keep me busy for a year, I reckon. I suppose I love those videos too, because it means that I've got figures coming in. I'm working on a few different videos at the moment. Later on today, I hope to start painting my Victrix light Greek cavalry, and hopefully Victrix will actually be interested in that. So they've asked me to send them links to it. They really liked the video that I made on the transfers for their elephants. So so I wonder if your wife is happy to have you watching me. I mean, do all this knowing that you'll be possibly buying figures. But yeah, the Greek cavalry are just beautiful figures. So the first video I've done is just the really basic opening of the packet and just gluing them together, what they look like glued together. My wife is really really happy with me in my painting because I pay for everything that I buy is paid for by my painting. So all my figures. Lately, I've been actually trading figures for painting. So and that's been kind of cool. I've never really done a lot of that before. Excuse the hand over the thing. As I said, I've actually put my camera in a slightly different place than normal. I don't know if it's any better or worse, but so this one here, I'm going to do a wash over it. So I'm just kind of blocking in the paneling. So I've been working away on lots and lots of different bits and pieces over the last few weeks, as one of my videos showed. So this week I've spent quite a bit of time trying to finish off the projects that I've been working on. So I've based or done all the basing for about 40 of the Pro Boss Games figures. So I'm going to black those in today. So then I can complete those and then start work on the next batch. You do. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I've got close to 500 Napoleonic metals that arrived yesterday as a trade. That in a couple of weeks before. So yeah, you're right. A lot of figures come in the door. I was looking before I came on this morning. I was looking for a figure that I wanted to paint. I couldn't find it. I mixed up the paint. Luckily, it looks like it's still good. So Neil, do you do a bit of painting for other people? Yeah, I've stayed away from eBay. I've really, for the last 16 odd years, I've had more than I can really ever do. So I've never really had to go looking for work. I mean, I have a full-time job, so this is just for a bit of enjoyment, really. I just enjoy doing it. Okay, where are we at, lads? Where are we at? I think what we'll do, come back to here. I just might need to get a different brush. Ooh, knocking things over. I'm a bit messy this morning. I'm just not normally me. Yeah, you did, mate. Nice to have you on board. I tried to start just like a smidge earlier today. I got myself all organised. So it seems on a Saturday for a few guys from overseas, it seems to be better if I pop on earlier. So here I am, and here you are. Nice to have you on board. I mean, if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to ask. I'm not a fount of knowledge, but if there's any chance that I can help you guys, I'm always happy to try. And if by some chance I can't do it like live today, I'll go away and I'll try and figure stuff out, and then I can come back and help you out. So we're going to do a wee thing on dark blue paint just a little bit later, and how I paint it. Yes, you can. Ask away. What's the question? Right. So that's where he's at the moment. Oh, I lost my chat. Where'd it go? Excuse the arm. My wife stole my little contraption from my mouth. I don't know what yellow gold to use for British foot artillery. Okay, just wait a sec. I have a... Where did I put that? I have a book on that. Right, so British foot artillery. Make sure I get the right one. I've got one here that we can look at, and then let's just see if I can find the actual one that I've got. Okay. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. The first one is that you base coat in bilge brown, the area that you're going to paint with the yellow. Okay, so bilge brown, and then paint over top of that with flat yellow. So both Villaggio colors. So bilge brown is your base color, then flat yellow is your highlight over that. Be careful not to cover the bilge brown areas so that the joints provide some contrast. Yeah, so make sure you don't cover all the bilge brown. Okay, so that's one way. If you want it to be slightly different, you can go with bilge brown as the highlight, as the base coat, and then a 50-50 mix of light brown and flat yellow, and then the second highlight you mix into that first highlight 15% white for your next highlight on there. Okay, so that's a second way of doing it. So bilge brown is the base, 50-50 light brown and flat yellow, and then you take that mix after you've painted it and you use the same mix and you put 15% of white in it, and you can do another highlight. Okay, so that's two different ways of doing the yellow on your British. Hope that helps. Just so happens I am going to be doing British at some stage, and I decided to buy a magazine to help me get the colors correct. Right, I'm now looking for a color. That's what happens when you don't actually put some of your colors away. Do you want to do mine? Where do you live? I live in New Zealand. So the only problem with living in New Zealand is that if they're metal, it costs a bit to ship. Catch you later, Neil. Scotland, UK. Warlord Games. You don't want me to paint your figures. You want to paint your own. If I had the British here to paint already, I could do some tutorials, kind of like online tutorials with you to help you out. But I've only got the like the infantry here at the moment. Right. You got 14. That'll keep you busy for a while. Far out. That's a good find. I had 8 battalions of Russian foundry figures turn up yesterday with 6 guns and hussars and Cossacks. So that's the beginning of my Russian army. So at some stage, not sure when, but at some stage, I look forward to actually painting those. But I've also, my French have started to turn up. Because believe it or not, I'm doing French again. This will be my 3rd time, and hopefully my final time at painting a French army. So this time I'm building my French totally ACW Foundry. That is something I actually do want. I could paint some of your stuff for it, but you might be kind of shocked at how little it might be. So I just to let you know, I painted the 32 Westphalians and 8 guns for 150 front rank French and 12 hussars without horses. So I could paint your guns for the ACW if you wanted. You need 7 guns. Yeah. So if you got 7 or 8 guns with crew, I'd do that. How's that? Highlanders. Oh, doesn't everybody hate painting Highlanders? Whoops, kicked my camera. You hate tartan. I've never painted 28 mil tartan. I've painted it in 15 mil. Yeah, you're a Scot. Of course you are. Maybe you should email me. Have you got my email? Or don't normally give things out live, but it's KC Galpin, Galpin at extra.co.nz. You should just message me. We'll have a chat. So it's Casey Galpin at extra, which is xtra.co.nz. Maybe we can help each other out. Maybe, eh? Just maybe. I did a swap for some front rank ACW, and it turned up the other day, and I actually think they're not Foundry. I think they're actually Glory, which is a wee bit disappointing. But the figures, I think they're second generation Old Glory, so they're not. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Black Tree Miniatures. Yeah, they're really nice, eh? Right, what am I doing here? What am I doing? I need to paint his arms a bit of red. So g'day to any guys that are on there watching at the moment, and ones that might hop on later. I hear there's a few of you guys, and you pop on later, and while you're painting, you just put it on in the background. So I'm glad that I can be a part of your day. I decided to get up kind of early today and get stuck into the painting. Like World War II Germans, I've got more Germans than you can believe. Sitting in containers, ready to be painted. But I just don't have time to paint my own stuff yet. But I will. It's coming up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. I've got quite a lot of artisan German winter Germans. I've already got 2 forces of German bolt action figures that I've already done. Hey, Brush and Quill, how you going? Yeah, the Greeks. That is my force that I actually must admit I have been working on, and will continue to work on. And the light cavalry that I'm going to start this afternoon, they are for me as well. They're for my force. So I do, yeah, you are correct. I do get the odd bit of my own stuff done. The majority is not, but I enjoy it. It's just great fun. I must admit, I'm really enjoying kind of getting in contact with some of you guys and chatting, and it's been awesome. Oh, P-Dot camo on 15 mil. I've done that before. That's not so much fun. Yeah, so I've got left to do on my Greeks over there. There's about 30 of them. Is to do the wood grain, and then they will be finished. I'm not going to start any more foot for now because I've got a wee. Whoops. Let's just try and keep in focus, Kent. I got some foot. I don't know what I'm saying. I've got some Napoleonics to do. I'm just trying to see what I'm supposed to be painting here. Sorry, hand in front and then blurry. There we go. Yeah, that's right. It's a great wee community, eh? You know, they all support each other, and yeah, I really enjoy it. I mean, the cool thing is we can always learn from each other. Eh? There's just so much to learn. No one's you know, that good that we can't learn from others. Right, where's the original guy? There. Just make him the same. Right, and the bit that I missed. Isn't it funny how you think, oh yeah, I've got hardly anything left to do. Wood grain. Would you like to see how I do my wood grain? Just give me 10 seconds and I will show you. I actually have two different wood grains that I do. So I'll just go and grab something. Right. So where is the paint that I want to check out? So for both my wood grains, I use Rhinox hide as the base. Okay, and then for my new wood, where is it? My new wood wood grain, I use Morphag brown as the second layer, and then Villaggio new wood as the third. So let's grab a slightly finer brush and we'll do the second layer of this one. So we'll choose this guy at the moment and let's push some figures away. Go back about there maybe. Okay. So obviously when you do your wood grain, a bit hard on this angle, but you want to leave some. Now with this Morphag brown, I don't water it down when I do the wood grain because it just doesn't give a sharp enough color. Obviously when you do your next layer, you want to be even finer. Okay, you probably can't even see that. Can you see that? Okay, so you can see that you know, as you go along, you kind of slip around, and so the lines aren't even, but that doesn't matter because it's wood graining, and you're not trying to get something perfect. Okay, so that's the next color on that one. Now, I've been using an old paint, Calvin brown, but I'm going to use bilge brown. You can paint grain onto anything. And it does make a difference. So you know, there's you know, X handles, go that way, with three layers on, or there's, you know, like a bow. So that's with the other. That's the other kind of wood grain that I do. So with the other one, excuse me, I just put a bit of paint in my mouth, which was really awesome. I'm going to use bilge brown, which actually is probably a nicer paint to paint with than the Citadel paint. The thing is, if you're gonna paint your figure up, you might as well make every area look nice. Obviously, you want to spend more time on the areas that you see the most. Okay, so there's that one. So that's bilge brown is the highlight there. So obviously this one here is just, it's brighter than that one over there. Looks like I need to replace my brown with the first brown. Okay. Even though the paint's not 100% dry, let's just do the, I might change to another brush. This is the reason I like using the cardboard. See how it's so easy to turn it over and still hold on to the figure well. Okay, so he has now got the next highlight done on there. So the other guy, if I can find, okay, so Villaggio Old Wood we'll be using on the other guy. Just pop a little bit of that out. Okay. Now normally I would wait for this to be a little bit dry before adding another paint over top. I haven't got very good light there. No, you can get much on the brush. Sorry about I might not be able to see it, but I'll just this guy here is in a very early stage of his uniform being painted. It's only just got the white on with the wash over it. Right, just about. Okay, so here's one done. The problem is that once you start painting wood grain, you just can't help yourself and you just keep painting more because it actually, man, it does just jump out and you think, oh, that is, I mean, me, I think, oh, that's cool. Which reminds me, there is one guy hiding in here. While we're actually sitting here going, I have no idea what he's doing, we'll just chuck a figure so you got something to look at. Yes, this ugly guy here. Right, I might as well. Finish him off. And the really funny thing is that with wood grain, I think if you don't do the last highlight, it doesn't look as well. You know, I mean, yes, it is wood grain, but I think that extra step. Well, I mean, I find on most things, those extra steps really make the difference. And don't forget to paint the back of your shields as well with your wood grain. I mean, you might as well. He's an ugly figure. I don't know what manufacturer that one's from. Right. So, the majority of these guys are actually completed now. So, I've got a bunch of archers that I've been working on, all different kinds of archers. It's actually quite a few archers, just looking at them all. How many more? Any more? Yes, there's another one over there. There. So these it's quite nice to get to the stage where they're nearing the end. So pretty much all I've got to do on these Saxons and Vikings is the shields, which I'm going to do later. This is a job. These figures are not mine. As most figures that cross these videos don't, well, they're not mine. So yeah, this is just these figures have been sitting in my to-do tray for probably 5 years, but the guy didn't actually want them painted. But being that I'm now winding down in my painting for other people, even though it doesn't seem like it because there's work coming in, I'm trying to clean out some of the, there's another one, some of these figures. So I've asked some of them not to send me any more miniatures, and I will just slowly clear out the guys. I like these guys here. They're really cool. You know, the beards are so nicely they're done. They almost paint themselves. It's another thing that I've kind of learned is that don't dry brush here. Actually take the time to paint it in. If you take the time to paint it in, it will stand out, you know, so much better than a dry brush. If the details there, paint it in, you know, make the effort. So yeah. So what we shall do is we will now move those off the table, because I'll be finishing those ones there later. But I will, before I move this guy off and this guy, I'm just going to put a wee wash over it. Just on there. So I painted them a mix of Iraqi sand mixed in with a little bit of white. and then giving them a wash with Agrax. And then I will repaint it with the same mix, well, similar mix, and then I will start to highlight that mix. Now we have one more bit painted with it. So in the beginning, I started work on the king here, just showing how I am trying to do gold thread different than the gold on the metal golds. And here he is. This is a completed one. So yeah. So using English brown first, then Citadel Everland Sunset, and then using for the final highlight Bellagio gold. And yeah, I'm quite happy with it. I mean, it looks different than the actual gold here, which I'm actually still thinking I might put another highlight on. And you can up close on the miniature, I don't know if you can see on there, but up close on the miniature you can see little gold bits, but you can also see the yellow and then the dark of the English uniform underneath that. So yeah, he's coming along. So I think we'll leave him for now, and I might come over here. I'm just not quite sure. I thought I might change something, try it a little bit different on the horse, but I'm not sure. Yes. What does that mean? Is that the thing on his coat? The answer would be yes. I hand paint everything. I can't help myself. I saw it in a book and I thought, I wonder if I can do that. Right, here we go. So I'm just going to try and I don't normally use this paint here, so I'm just going to see what happens. I've watered it down. But I want to just be a little bit brighter finish on my horse here. Well, it's not my horse, but on this horse. So I'm just using Cavalry Brown. And we're going to just try and build up the colour. So it used to worry me when I used to water paints down and they just, you paint them on and you think, oh, it looks a bit weird. It's too watery. And then I realized as you layer over those colors, they just fill in, and you can just increase by the layering the colors and get your brightness up. You think, how do people kind of get it so it's really like bright on the outside of a muscle and kind of going into the dark? Well, generally, and it's kind of seems seamless. It's just the layering. If you do it once, you get a certain amount. Okay, so that's once over. Hey, how's it going, mate? Nice to have you on board. Well, I must admit, it wasn't easy, but I think it's just in the layering. really. So if you go back to the beginning of the video later, you'll see me. Oh, I think I was onto the second color. Once again, by layering, you can actually get away with a lot more. It's the same here. It's the layering. If you can lay your colors on and not not have them too thick to start with, then you can kind of work that. You can kind of work that color in. It doesn't actually show up quite as well on the video as I'd hoped, but I'll take photographs of these obviously later, and you'll be able to see it's actually quite flat. But at the same time, you think, oh, you're painting it extra times. It's actually quite a quick wee method. Yeah. I mean, obviously, if you get it too watery, it kind of looks like a bubbly kind of mess. But it's worth experimenting. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I have you get spare bits and pieces, spare miniatures, the odd horse here and there that you don't use or is broken. Well, base it up and actually practice on it. So I just wanted this horse to be a bit more red looking. Then I quite often use the Mournfag brown, but I'm just never been totally happy with it. But I think that's actually going to come out all right, eh? Obviously, I'm going to paint down here just a bit different, so I'm not really working on there. I'll be doing the socks and things later. Okay. So I said that I would paint a dark blue. Yeah, I must admit, I have tried it on faces, but I'm actually quite happy with the way I paint faces at the moment. So, I don't know if you can see these. I can back a bit. Is that blurry or sharpened? There. And I don't water mine down at all. I find that if I water my down when I'm doing faces, it ends up running into the other colors, and I lose, because I like it. I actually have quite a bright, sharp figure, and when I do the I don't know. Yeah, I suppose it's practice. But so this has dark Prussian blue on it, and excuse the arm, it's going to go across the top and grab the paint I think I need. No, that's not it. I'll go around the back. Yeah, practice. Yeah, 40 mil. These guys up here. Yeah, I mean, on these guys, which if I take back, you do a lot more work on those suckers than you've got to blend. Because your eye can pick up so much more. So the second color here, first color is dark Prussian blue, and the next color is going to be intense blue. But we're going to water that down a bit. I don't want it to be too strong. So let's just see if I've done it enough. Okay, so so when you obviously when you're painting, you look at your detail and see if I put it on that angle, you can see there's the creases go across and then there's the creases go down. So you want to follow your creases. You want to let your creases do the painting for you. So let's just paint that in. Obviously, some miniatures don't have quite as much. But this is my blue that I use for my French Napoleonic. So it's intense blue, watered down over dark Prussian blue. Obviously, it looks a bit naff at the moment. And hopefully it will come out all right, being that I'm doing this live. It's the scariest thing about doing things live. It's that you're like, hope it kind of works. Showing people how to do something. And stuff up, but no, we'll be right. So, I mean, obviously the first time you put it on, you might go, that looks horrible. But, so pretty basic there at the moment. We're just gonna work the color a bit more. Obviously, on a French uniform, you're not going to have quite as much area as you do here. That's with all my painting. I actually, when I'm actually painting them, I generally don't like the look of them until I've actually got that last highlight on. I think that's what actually makes them pop. You see you later, mate. Night. See you guys. Nice to have you on board today. Enjoy your weekend when you wake up. Okay. It's a bit shiny there, isn't it? It doesn't actually look very dark blue for me, but it actually is. Yeah, you can't. I suppose I could buy them online, but you can't buy Foundry paints here in New Zealand. This is the same guy, but he's on foot. I've always painted my French with intense blue as the second color. Actually, I used to paint them with French blue as my first color, but over the time I've learnt that you need to layer you need to layer your colors. So it's amazing how your painting does change over time. Okay. So what I'll probably do is let that dry like that. And so that one there has dried. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in, I might put, should have written it. It's strange how for some reason the third color that I always put on here, I'm always like, no, I should have written that down because I can never quite remember. And I've painted it so many times. And I always tell everyone, make sure you write your colors down, you know. I haven't got the heater on today. It's very foggy outside. It's probably a balmy, maybe 5 degrees. So I've just mixed a little bit of Prussian blue in at this stage. And if you want your third layer to be a bit more out there, you could just go straight Prussian blue as the highlight instead of actually mixing it. But because this is quite a big flowing coat, I just don't want it to be too in your face. With the highlight there. Quite often I do. Quite often I actually make that last highlight really obvious. I'm not going to do much on the inside. Just bring a bit more across the shoulders where the light's going to hit. And this just a little bit less intense blue on this bit. So this is almost straight Prussian blue. Not quite, but it's almost. Okay. So I don't know how dark that actually looks, but it's actually, like on my table, it's actually quite a dark, nice dark area. Any tartan or plaid in the batch? I didn't mention your... I have, no, I've got no tartan, except for, is it Corvinus Maximus or whatever he's got his name? He's suggesting that he sends me some tartan to paint. But I've never painted tartan, but I've just got a book the other day which actually explains how to paint tartan and what Villaggio colors to actually use to paint the tartan. What steps to do. So I'm kind of set up to hit the tartan, but I don't have any tartan of my own sitting there. So what I'll do with these figures, obviously, is I'll take some photos and put them up on the site when they're all based, so you can actually see what these blues actually came out like in real life. So I mean, maybe if I take that light off, it still looks quite doesn't look very dark there, does it? So that's all right. I mean, there's a light blue beside the dark blue, so that might show you how dark that blue is. But so that's how I do my my French blue that you've seen on all my French figures. It's easy and it's quite quick. So I'm going to flick that light on because I need a better see for my painting. Right, so where are we at, people? Right, so these are, I was actually going to do those, but guess what? My scissors aren't here, so I can't chop them up. I can't. Dang it. I might put a little bit of red on there, if I can find the right paint. So we'll probably be stopping soon because I'm going to head off up to my parents' house and I'm going to clean their house for them. So this shield has had, I'm only going to do it halfway because I've decided I'm going to paint the other half a completely different colour. It's had black red first, and then it's had, I think it's Memphis. No, corn red, which is Citadel. So I was just wanting it to be slightly different than what I would normally do for my English uniforms, that I paint a different kind of red for that. Right. The redheads. Yeah, what I used red leather as the base. Did I use red leather? No, I didn't. I used Cavalry Brown. Cavalry Brown as the base. That's right. Base coat Cavalry Brown. Then I used red leather as the first highlight. And then, where are you? I think I used light brown. Light brown, which is 929. So 929 is the final highlight. Red leather, which is 818, is the first highlight, and Cavalry Brown is the base over black. And yeah, I was really I thought they came out pretty good. So I was really happy with it. So and there's no washes over that at all, even though I did think about it, but I didn't. So yeah, so really. I thought, let's have a few red beds there. So for this, I want this a bit brighter red. So I'm doing it my normal red, which is black red first. Then Evil Sun's Scarlet is my next one. And then we'll use Villaggio Scarlet over top of that, and then Citadel Wild Rider Red. There's my next one. And I think I'm going to paint like a raven in there, one of those kind of wee raveny things. Now, just trying to remember the bits and pieces that I haven't done. I'm actually going to do the flesh on this guy, so I should actually do that next. Finish it off. And I find even if you're going to completely paint out the color that you've put down first, I still paint it. So, like with a red, I always paint what's underneath it with a black red. I don't leave black as the color underneath because it's what you want to show. So, and by some chance, there's always something that shows through it. Okay, so there's that. Right, so I think the flesh that I popped out before looks a bit dry, so we won't use it. The only problem with these Villaggio pots, every now and again they decide they're just going to squirt out way too much paint. Okay, so we're going to do the first highlight on the hand. It's not a heck of a lot of flesh flats showing, even though I think I should have painted some in there, so I'll have to do the base coat in there. I think I missed it. I have a strange feeling the guy on the ground has a shield, so this whole arm I like it when you put the flesh on. It's like things are coming together. So while I've just seen that little bit that I've missed off this guy, I might as well paint it. Hey, enjoy your game, Matt. Yeah, we all have our preferences as how we paint, I suppose. I think once you find something that you really think that's exactly how I want it, then those are the things you generally don't change. I know that I've changed my style of doing reads. Yeah, and you, Matt, enjoy your game. I hope you win. If you don't win, I hope you have a great time anyway. Okay, so we're just sticking some flat flesh over there, over the fingers, the old knuckles. Detail on this hand is not the best. Right. So if I zip around the corner and get the scarlet, just happens that my camera is in the perfect place for not being able to get to some of my paints. Once I've finished this red, I'll probably head off, I think. Been on for a few hours now. Need to give the old eyes a break. through a paintbrush. So, just going to flicker back a bit. So. Highlight on there. I'm going to be back here this afternoon, and I'll go live again probably once I've set up for what I'm doing. Maybe. We'll just see. And the banner. I don't, I know Reds and other these ones you can layer, but I actually don't. I don't add water to my Reds. I was watching a video on YouTube the other day, and you know, really, really good painter, way better than me. And she was layering her red little bit by little bit with water in it, and but I just like the way my reds come out. So I'm thinking to myself, well, why change? And you know, the people that I paint for seem to be really happy with the reds. So that's the way they're going to stay. Right, so I just have one more layer to go. Yeah, it's just, I mean, I'm always watching people's videos, and I don't just watch people that I think, oh yeah, they're better than me, so I'll watch them, I might learn something, because I must admit, I've watched a couple of videos of guys that I think, oh yeah, they're all right, but you know, and then come away thinking, man, they had a great idea. You know, what they said and what they did, I can apply that, and so you can learn from anybody and everybody. And sometimes it's learning. Don't do that. But if you still learned it, okay. Sorry, most of that's out of focus, but you can. I think you can see the different reds in there. Now, what I'm going to do on this guy is I'm actually going to frame that. So a lot of that red's actually going to go. And it actually, man, that red stands out on camera really strangely, but it's a bit nicer. It's interesting how the camera sometimes makes things look. But hey, I hope you guys have enjoyed my video. Sorry, I was just reading what Matt had said about the Napoleonics. I'm glad he enjoys the Napoleonics. So do I. I hope you've enjoyed this morning. I've had a great time painting. I think I've been on here for, let's have a look, just over an hour and a half, and got a bit more work done. So I'm trying to knock these guys off this weekend because I want to get stuck into some of the other work that's here. So cheers, take care, and we'll catch you next time. I'll probably be back on here in about 2 to 3 hours. So if you want to catch me then, and if you've got any other questions, question away. See you later, guys.